Now that you have your products queued up in Oberlo, it's time to move forward and import these products into your Shopify store. You want to make sure that this is an organized process, so I'm going to teach you how to make your collections in Shopify so that products are automatically turned into collections when they are imported from Oberlo into Shopify. It's time to make some collections on Shopify that's going to make product importing even easier from Oberlo. So I'm going to just go to Shopify homepage. You can see I'm still on this free trial. And then I'm going to click into products and then collections. And if you remember, the collections we made for that streetwear brand is right over here. It's going to be outerwear, tops, bottoms, footwear, and then also underneath that is also going to be the subcategory. So I'm going to make a collection for each of these categories, the macro ones as well as the subcategories as well. So all you do is click on create collection. Now I have to give this collection a title, and I'm just going to match the collection titles to the ones I've come up with, and keep in mind that these collection titles are going to be what customers see as the title for your collection in navigation. So I'm going to make first one for outerwear. And then don't worry about adding an image. Don't worry about any of these settings except you want to set it to manual for now. This means that we can automatically add the products into the collection by selection. Automated means that we're going to be leveraging tags that we can also create at the Oberlo level. But for now, let's just make it manual. And bam, the collection has been made. I'm going to create another one for the subcategories underneath outerwear. So there's going to be jackets now, again, set on manual. The settings carry over when you keep doing it like this. Create another collection, and this one is going to be denim. And now you get the point. I'm going to keep making these collections. I'm not even going to do the rest in these videos for every single category as well as subcategory, and that's all you have to do for this step for now. Now that you've made these collections, keep in mind that you can add and adjust collections as needed whenever you want. So let's hop into Oberlo for some importing. This is an exciting moment because you're about to have some products within your digital storefront. Now that we've created our collections, it's time to actually import the products over from Oberlo to Shopify. So I'm just going to click on apps, go to Oberlo, and you should have a very big import list at this point. I recommend a minimum of 100 products, and at least 20 products per subcategory and also the overall category. I usually end up with around 200 products, so make sure you're exhaustive with your sourcing, and this should all be queued up. I only have 7 examples to show you, but it's going to be the same process over and over again. So the first thing you want to do when you see products queued up here in Oberlo is give it a title, right? You don't want to use this generic AliExpress title that's already been provided. That's not going to sell. It's usually really bad grammar, and also because someone that didn't speak English came up with these titles. And how do you actually name your products? And keep in mind, this is tentative. You can change it again once you've already imported in Shopify, so you're not married to these names. Just take your best crack at it for now. And what makes a good product title? There's really no golden rule, except for it just has to sound professional enough and also offer a branded feel so customers feel like buying. Something that a lot of big brands do, and something I like to do, let's take a look at Warby Parker, is they have themes or consistency to the titles of their products. So you can see here in Warby Parker's glasses section, Hayes, Downing, Duran, Perkins, Larson, Duncan, Percy, Fletcher. It's obviously names, and they're like kind of pretentious, fancy sounding names, right? That's a consistent theme for all these product titles. So if you're selling prep wear, for example, maybe you want to make your titles off of very famous historical figures. If you're selling, let's say, hiking clothing, you can name your products off of very big natural wonders or natural landmarks. Get creative with it. You get the point. I'm going to call this one the Urban Rose Hoodie, and I'm just freestyling off the top of my head. And now you want to select the collection. Remember, I already told you how to make these collections at the Shopify level. So this one is going to be both outerwear and also it's going to be hoodies, right? It falls under both collections, and you want to make sure that as you're labeling these, you put in every single collection that matters. Another way of doing this is kind of to reverse it. You could tag products at this level first. So I can make like an outerwear tag, right? And I can make like a hoodies tag. The only thing about doing it this way instead of making these collections first is that you got to make sure you're naming things and spelling everything right every single time, because you're not picking from a drag down. Once you have these tags made, then what you could do is you could go to products, collections, click create collections. You're going to switch this from manual to automated. And for example, I can make it hoodies, right? And then make the product tag is equal to hoodies. So everything that's tagged here at the Oberlo level of hoodies is going to get put automatically into this collection. No method is better than the other one. I like making the collections first, but that's what these tags are for. And maybe you have some collections you haven't made, but maybe in the future you might make it into a formal collection and you can just tag it for now. So I might have a collection that's kind of based on colors, right? So I could just make the black tag right now, and then moving forward, everything that's colored black, I could just label this as a tag, and then later on make a black collection if I want to. So then don't worry about type. That doesn't really mean anything. We're gonna go over to description. Don't worry about editing the descriptions right now, because we can do it in the Shopify level, and the formatting is just a lot easier in terms of text at the Shopify level. The translation from Oberlo to Shopify can kind of look awkward, so you're going to end up changing it anyways. And there's actually some really good pieces of information that the supplier has included for us. For example, the weight and the size of this item, right? So leave the description for now. We're going to go over to variants. Now that we're at the variants level, the big thing to do here is to decide which items you actually want to import into your Shopify. Keep in mind that I originally thought that this thing was just a hoodie, but it seems like it's a full outfit, right? There's white ones, there's red ones, there's also t-shirts and joggers. This is a point now where you can decide to either split these variants up, which will make each of these variants, right, into a separate product. And all you do with that is you can go to more actions, split product, and you can decide which variant you want to split across, right? So I can make these all separate products. And the rule for doing this is if you think that all of these variants don't belong on one product page, and this is what variants look like. For example, on Warby Parker, these are color variants, right? So if you think it won't be very intuitive to have one product page have shirts, hoodies, and joggers, and a lot of different colors, then go ahead and split that. So for this instance, I'm going to eventually split up the variant, but I want to standardize the price first. So I'm going to adjust price here. And again, all of this stuff you can change at the Shopify level as well. It's just good to get it out of the way here because it saves you a lot of time. And remember, the golden ratio for pricing that I kind of recommended is to take the cost plus the shipping cost multiplied by 2.5, right? And we can see that these are all kind of different costs. And what I'm going to do here is take out my calculator, okay? And I'm going to go to 9.05 multiplied by 2.5, right? And that's going to be the price, $22.60. I like to make it kind of in intervals of 99, and especially intervals of 5 or 0. You know, like if it's $23, I'd rather just round up to $24.99, and if it's like $28, I'd rather just make it $29.99. I'm going to talk about pricing strategies later on in the course. That's just something I like to do right now at the sourcing level. So I'm just going to make this $24.99, and then for everything that's 9.05, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, right? And then obviously this is a different price level here now, so I'm gonna make this 12.34 times 2.5, right? Bam, 30.85. So I'm gonna take this, copy and paste it over here. And I actually just violated my own rule. I want to make this $29.99. Sure, it's going to be a little bit lower, but it's not as drastic as $34.99. So that's kind of how I like to do this pricing. And once you've gone ahead and gone through all of these, right, it can be a little tedious. Don't worry about the compare at price for now unless you know what type of sale you want to offer. So let's say I want to do a 75% sale. Then at this level, I can make it 99-99, right? And then this will be 75% off. And I'm gonna have to do this calculation separately here. Maybe this one I'll just make 70% off. right? And I'm going to talk about sales strategies in this course as well, so don't worry about it. This is just how you can do it at the Oberlo level. And in an instance where all of this was kind of the same cost, what we could have done is just changed all the prices to something. You could also multiply it by as well, right? So if I did a multiplier, let's say of 2.5, let's see what happens here, right? It's multiplying everything basically by 2.5 down the road because shipping is $0. So that will save some time, and then I can just go in individually and adjust it to the nearest interval. A lot of strategies here. There's no uniform one. So, I can make this multiply by another interval to make all the compare at prices, and the compare at price just basically makes it so your store will have a sale. So once this has actually happened, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the images, right? And there's a lot of different images, but only the images that are checked are actually going to import over to Shopify. So now is time to make a decision on which images you actually want to appear on your product page level. So I think this is a pretty cool image. But again, this one is redundant, so I'm not going to include this one. This one, right, is kind of standalone. This one's kind of cool. This one's the same one as that one, so I'm going to ignore this white one. And these detailed shots seem really cool as well. You can choose to do a sizing chart at this level if you want, but I honestly like to make a standardized sizing chart for all my products that maintains the uniformity of the site. So I don't like including this extra stuff. I've selected the images, and at this point, if let's say all I was doing was importing this hoodie, I just hit import to store. But we talked about how it's kind of random. There's t-shirts and hoodies and also joggers in here. I'm going to split the variants. And I notice right here that the variant color is actually the variant for the item. So I'm going to go to more actions, split product, right? And you can choose to split by size or split by color. Obviously, we're going to split by color, or I guess the type of product it is, and bam, split into 5 products. So now you see how this is making it so I have multiple products now from one. So even though I sourced this one product, I actually just split it up and I just got a lot more products. And I think when you split variant, you should do it when you think that each individual SKU can stand alone as a separate product in a separate product page. In this case, it does fit that criteria because there's no reason why hoodies and joggers and shirts should be under one product page, right? Now, if it was, for example, one type of t-shirt and it's just in a lot of different colors, maybe you just keep it all on one product page, kind of like Warby Parker has done it, and just have the different colors be the different variants. That's up for you to decide. I'm waiting for this thing to load. Awesome. So now it's been split up, and you can see this one is kind of a jogger, right? And it only includes the jogger variant, so Oberlo worked very well. For this one, it only also includes the jogger picture. I want to make sure that there's no jogger pictures here. This one is a jogger picture, and this is also a picture of the fabric, so I'll include those images. The variants that are going to be imported are all checked right here, and that's right. So let's make this price standardized that we talked about. Downgrade it to $29.99, and then I'm gonna make this thing 70% off. So I'll make this $99.99. Awesome, and it's just simple copy and paste. Perfect, right? And then images, I made sure that it was only the jogger stuff. Description, we're going to keep it right over here for now. And this one is just the jogger now. It's a separate product. So I'm going to call this the Urban Rose Jogger. Maintain that consistency, right? I got to make sure the collections are the right ones. So it's going to be both bottoms, and it's also going to be a jogger. And this one is also black. I don't know, again, if I'm going to leverage this tag later, but I'm just going to import this into the store. And while it's importing, right, this is awesome. You just click edit product on Shopify to check that it imported correctly. And there it is, right? It did import correctly. And we're going to change this at the product page level in a later lesson. All we're doing right now is just importing the products onto Shopify. So let me go through some more examples. This one was the Urban Rose hoodie, except this one is just the white one. Always check the variants because sometimes this image doesn't correspond to the actual variants that's getting imported. Yep, this one is right. Let me make sure the images are right. Yep, I'm gonna include some of these white cloth images as well, just to communicate that quality, right? I'm gonna make sure that the pricing is done right for this hoodie. Okay, so we did the multiplier, and I'm just gonna make it go down because $30.80 is kind of like an awkward price to be at. And do your own research as well on how big brands are pricing these things. Like a lot of things that luxury brands will do is they'll just do 0.00 at the end. So it'll be like 30.00 for a more premium feel, rather than the 0.99. And I'm gonna make sure the compare at is set correctly. Okay, I'm just gonna type it once. Awesome. And then we just paste this in every time. I'm not gonna do all of these, you get the point, and I'm gonna import this one, but because we have a black one and a white one, I'm gonna call this one the white Urban Rose hoodie. Hoodies, outerwear, tags are wrong here. I'm gonna make this one white in case I make that white collection, and bam, I'm gonna import this one to store as well and see if it imported correctly. So yep, there it is. It did import correctly, and we will adjust these pages later. But I'm gonna go down, skip these variants. Let's take a look at this one. This one has 155 variants. So my guess, it's gonna end up getting split. So yeah, it's just like a bunch of different cool designs, right? And this is an example where I would say it's great to split this variant into all of these different products. And this is, you can select a maximum of 100 variants to edit. So I'm not going to be naming this one until the variants are actually split up, because depending on the style, it's going to be a different title for each variant, right? The collections is going to be the same for all these hoodies as well as outerwear, right? And then, you know, let's check these things. Everything looks like it's going to be white, so I can just fill in that tag for now as well. Ignore the description, go into the variants. I'm going to make this the 2.5 multiple, just so it guides our pricing a little bit better. Perfect. And then I'm going to go into images. Okay, so all these images are like this. Let's see why some of these other ones weren't selected. Seems like it's just a duplicate of the image anyways. So let's split this bad boy up into by color. That's actually what color refers to here as style, and I've already gone ahead and checked that. So we're gonna split all these products, and it's gonna be a lot of products that are gonna be coming up, and Oberlo is gonna take some time to do all of this work. I'm gonna refresh just to see, maybe it's done. Perfect. So a lot of this is also done. So now, you know, I have to come up with a name for this particular hoodie, and let's just say this is a Little Peep hoodie. So this is actually something that you should not sell because this is a celebrity. But assuming if there were no copyright violations, I could call this one Little Peep. It's going to be very, very interesting coming up with a unique name for all of these ones. But let's just say I call this one Little Peep Side Glance Hoodie, right? Because he's kind of glancing to the side. And again, description, variants, it's already done, right? We've already standardized the pricing, just making sure that this is the right variant corresponding to the picture. Yep, it is. Images are selected, so I'm going to make sure there's no other images for this style that I need to be importing over. Nope. And bam, right? This is an import as well. So you get the point about this importing stuff now. You just do this for all of your products that you have sourced. Get it over to Shopify. So now I just want to show you a hack with this importing stuff, if you go to settings and then global pricing rules, you can see that you can set these rules, right? That's how you do the multiplier. So I can make it so every single time Oberlo automatically does it, changes the price to 2.5 is my multiple. And you can also assign cents, right? So you could assign these cents to, let's say, 0.99. So then it's like, okay, I save the setting, and then everything on the import list is basically going to be adjusted. You can apply pricing rules to existing products, and this is just like a big bulk editing one. And you can even do some advanced rules, right? You can set different cost ranges, make it a different multiplier, and make it a different multiplier. In the beginning, before you use these advanced rules, I kind of recommend you just go one by one and double check your products to make sure they're priced the way you want. But this is just kind of a hack if you want to cut some corners and you've gotten more advanced with Oberlo and feel comfortable having a machine kind of automate things. And that's sourcing. So get your products onto Shopify, and then you'll be ready for the next one.